Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited because, first of all, I'm excited about this guest that I got on today. Very, very good friend of mine's, and it's nice to be on the airway with him again. And so I'm not even going to tell you who it is right now because I want you to guess for a little bit. But this young man right here is an incredible, incredible guy. I mean, I've been knowing him for quite some time, long, long time. I have watched this man in action, man of integrity, great husband, father, person. I mean, all of those things, which makes a man, a good man, a great man. And this guy is the epitome of all of these things. I'm talking none other than my very, very good friend, you know, Ray Leonard Jr. Ray Leonard Jr. Wow. I can remember a couple of years back, us teamed up on the airway for about 16, 17 months, had a great time. And he is doing some fantastic things that we're going to talk about today. And regardless of which platform you're watching this from, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments. Ask this great man any questions that you like. And I promise you, we're going to get you an answer. We're going to get you an answer. Let me tell you a little bit about this young man. I still call him young man. You know, he is and everybody, you already know that he is the eldest and the namesake of one of my heroes and uh, Sugar Ray Leonard Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard, who, in my opinion, is one of the greatest champions of all time, regardless of sports. Regardless of sports, I'm talking about them all. Um, and I know this guy right here personally. I'm talking about Ray. Uh, his beautiful wife Stacy, his actually four beautiful kids. And we're gonna let Ray talk about all of those things in a minute because we are talking today about Leonard Legacy, and that's what it's all about. It's being able to have a legacy, not just for ourselves, but for our kids and our kids and our kids, to be able to sit back and just live comfortable, continue to bring great things in the lineage of, in this case, we're talking about the Leonard name. And just incredible, incredible man. Ray Leonard Jr. is a highly respected public speaker, sports consultant, actor, award-winning business exec, host of the podcast Know Better, Do Better. And it's all about core values and a lot of other things that he was instilled in with these values, know better, do better, by his grandfather. But we're gonna let him tell that story. You know what? I can't take it any longer. Let's bring to the stage Ray Leonard Jr. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, JC, my brother, what's going on? How you feeling, man? Good to see you.
Man, it's always a pleasure, man. And I tried to get in touch with you when I was there a couple of weeks ago, but we gonna hook up. I got you here. We back in Texas now, right now, Ray, and it's raining out here. And but
It's the same. It's been this Cali weather too. It was raining here yesterday, and I told you I had a flat tire, and it's supposed to be rim flat tires, and they didn't even, I had to get it towed. So I've had a long day already, but I'm happy to be here with you, my man.
Hey man, I'm so happy to have you here, man. And I mean, I just been following you, man. You're doing a lot of great, great things. And for Ray, for those that do not know who you are, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about who is Ray Leonard, the man, the father, the husband, the great person?
Thank you. It's like I guess it's like a Rubik's cube for me of when you talk about who I am as a person and what I'm trying to build and grow and leave for my kids, the same as my father and my grandfather, my mother, grandparents did for me. I was born to two teenage parents, My mother was 15. My father was 16 when I was born in Palmer Park, Maryland. And, we were born to some means that wasn't, the best economic situation. But we figured it out. My mother worked at a gas station, supported my father in his dream of being a professional boxer. And he won the 76 Olympics and a gold medal in the 76 Olympics. And our whole lives just kind of changed. And we had to figure out how to grow and learn as a young family, a young Black family way back in the 70s to figure out how do we function with the media being front facing, that we had the whole city and our whole town, our whole state, a whole country on our backs to do something that was never done before. And that was to be a commercially viable family from the boxing industry. My father ended up getting, 6 world championships in 5 different weight divisions. And so for me, I said, okay, what do I do? Like, how do I get out of this shadow? How do I make my own path, create my own encore worthy situation? So my first thing was me being the first person in my family to go to college. So that was my Olympic gold medal. I was a really great athlete in high school. I played football and ran track and field. I was on the USA Maryland national team, ran track and field in Russia, won many gold medals over there. But it's still, when your father's a 6-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist, like, what do you do? So I had to create my own path. And that was one of the biggest things for me, and one of the hardest things to figure out, how do I create my own path?
Wow. Well, you already created your own path. You're making headways as Ray Leonard Jr. So, Ray, why don't you tell our viewers and listeners what motivates Ray Leonard?
So there's a good question, JC, because there's a lot of things that motivate me. One of the biggest things that motivates me is wanting to define my own path and leave my own legacy. Sometimes when you have the name of a namesake, the same exact name, it's hard to find your own identity. It's like, okay, here, what's your motivation? There's so much success there. But me creating my own family, my own path, my 4 kids that are phenomenal kids, my wife and everything that we put together, that's a motivation to me. My motivation is also the fact that I have the opportunity. I was listening to a motivational presentation the other day, and the speaker was talking about, you get the chance to be up every single morning and to do something special, to change somebody's lives. And some people didn't have that opportunity. And so my grandfather told me years and years ago, you know better, you do better. That kind of stuck with me. And it has had a metamorphosis over the years, because it's changed and grown, and I know more about what I know, and I'm doing better at what I do better, right? So that's kind of the thing that motivates me. Is I want to see how people, not how people, but I want what I leave behind when my time is up, when my clock expires here. I want people to say what I actually believed in myself. Because sometimes people will think things in themselves and say, okay, here, I am this person. And then everybody else around them, the people that they influence, never say the same thing about them. So I want my words and my actions to speak for what I actually do.
Wow. Me and you have shared the stage many, many times. And, one of the things I get from you about when we shared the stage together on several, on tour, whatever, you talk about what defines you, because of the pressures and all of these things, and that is bigger than life. But everyone had to define themselves, had to understand what their powers are and their purpose are. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's been one of my biggest things. I know you always love that presentation when I do that one, and what defines you in presentation, because that's one that's truly heartfelt for me. So when you see that trying to figure out like who you are. That's our biggest mission. That's our biggest thing that we have to do as we grow as people, as human beings. We try to figure out, okay, like who are we? Like what is really in my DNA? What is my mission? What is my purpose for being here? And for me, like it's your goal in life to try to find out what are you defined by? Are you defined by your actions? Are you defined by your words? Are you defined by your deeds? Or are you defined by what you let have other people think about you? And for me, it's about the actions. It's about the actions because that speaks louder than anything else. And you can always, like we always just talked about, like you can always say that you're this, but if your actions don't match up with it, then it's not you. it really ain't you. So I get inspired by you, JC, because like you went and like you got these degrees, you served in the military, you've done all this service, like you have a great family, amazing wife. You do the things that you say you're gonna do. And so when you talk about what defines you, your actions define you. And so I want to be led by that same kind of vision, same space.
I thank you all, my friend. So we got about 2.5 minutes before the break, but I want to talk about why did you choose the title of the show? I already think I know, but I want our viewers to hear it from you. The title of the show, Leonard Legacy. Let's talk about it. Why you choose that title?
I chose the title because I think I have the responsibility to not just myself, to my kids, but to all the people that came before me, my grandparents, my great-grandparents that put their lives, they put their hearts, everything on the line to make it a better situation for each one of us. I wouldn't be here if my father wasn't getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and running behind the school bus. I wouldn't be here if my mother, didn't sacrifice and work 2 jobs to make sure that my father was able to live out his dream. I wouldn't be here if my grandfather, who was a sharecropper in South Carolina, 6th grade education, didn't raise 6 kids. And my grandmother was the backbone of this whole situation. I wouldn't be here without all of them. And so when you talk about the Leonard legacy, the legacy lives on through me. And it's because of our actions and because of what we do and what we leave behind and how we groom that next generation is what we leave behind. And that's what people, echoes in eternity. My favorite movie is Gladiator. And he said, what we do today echoes in eternity. So every single morning I get up, I'm like, okay, here, what can I do today to have that bigger echo in eternity and leave it for my kids to be able to continue what we put together.
Wow. Great. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back shortly after the break. But if you want to be part of this great conversation, and if you got a question for this great man, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask him any questions that you're thinking of, or just become part of the conversation. You can do it. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cool. We will be back with more Ray Leonard Jr. shortly after the break.
Get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and as you see, I'm sitting here. I call him my DAWG, Ray Leonard Jr. And I tell you, if you knew this young man, if you know this young man, you know how incredible of a young man he is because he give 110%. I just love watching him over the years as a father, as a husband, and I watch Ray. Man, I watched the kids grow up. Man, they are doing some incredible things. You got the Beast, you got Ryan, just destroy, and you got Jay Boogie. Man, it's incredible, man, that they grew up so fast, man. And all of them are spitting images of you.
Yeah, I did pretty good with the DNA on them. So you can't go wrong. They look images. Yeah, they look like me. So, and their mom supplied the beauty side. So, and the intelligence. So I love that. And it's just a testament, JC. I'm so overwhelmed about how my kids are thriving in life, and it makes me feel good that we did something right. We had a lot of things that we did wrong. That's the first thing of trying to progress and get better. But a lot of things we did wrong, and to see that the kids, my oldest daughter Ariel, graduated from Pepperdine, had an academic scholarship, and she's a marketing executive in Atlanta doing her thing. Jalen's down in Savannah State playing ball and doing well in college, and he's writing music, and he's working. And then Devin, the Beast, is going to start running back in high school, and my baby girl is volleyball and track and field, and a great student, great person. And that's what's been the biggest thing to me, because I always told my kids, I said, like, you don't have to be athletes. You don't have to follow in my footsteps. You don't have to follow in your grandfather's footsteps. But you have to do something and try to be the best at it, the best that you can be. And so it's just amazing to sit here and watch them. I mean, I'm almost an empty nester. We're almost empty nesters. My baby girl is 15. She's in a freshman in high school. So like 3 years from now, like everybody's out the house, and we have to figure out what we're gonna do next.
Hey man, we got Prince over here. How you doing, Prince? I see you waving out there. I see you. You're next on the show. Don't try to get away. And I like the comment that Mark Young just made, Ray. Thank you, Dr. James, for having this fine gentleman on the show. Ray is not only an inspiration to me, but I highly respect his family. And that's what I'm trying to say, respect. Family, respect the person, respect everything. So you see how people, how people love you, man.
Yeah. Well, I just try to get up and do what I can every day, man. So I love it, and I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you, sir, for that wonderful quote that you just put down, and it humbles me even more when I see things like that. I'm not doing what I do or what I'm trying to do for any accolades from anybody. I'm doing it because this is a mission for me, and it's on my heart to do something in this space. So the exciting thing, with the shows that you and I did, me and Prince doing, Know Better, Do Better podcast. It's just, we have a voice, and when you have a voice, you have a responsibility to try to give people information and tell your stories. And that's what I love to do. It's so exciting. And your platform has done so much for so many people. Sometimes we don't even understand how we affect the world by telling our stories or being vulnerable or giving information to people and educating people. And that's one of my biggest goals and biggest journeys, to change how education is done.
And you're absolutely right, man. And we have to first be the example and get people to understand that they have to put the work in, and also pass down to the legacy, that the legacy, at least what I try, the legacy has to be better than me, with my kids and etc. I mean, at least that's what my goal is. So Ray, let's get back on the legacy. A lot of people think that legacy means just money, all about this and all about that. Um, what are your thoughts on it? I know it ain't about money. It's about making the next generation better. Can you explain that to our viewers?
Well, I mean, we do live in a capitalist society, so I'd love to have $1 trillion because I could probably make it work and do something really great with it. But at some point, it becomes absurd, the amount of money that some people have, and what do you do with it? How do you leverage that? For me, legacy is more about impact. It's more about impact. And so when you talk about what Muhammad Ali did when he gave up his title, gave up his prime years of his career, and said, "I'm standing for something because this means something, and it's going to go teach kids or people in the future that if you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything." So when you talk about legacy, it's not just what you leave behind, but the impact that you have on others. And the biggest thing for me is to have a positive impact on people, because what is our time here on this world meant for if we're not doing something that's going to leave the earth or leave the place or leave our friends or family or kids, our community better off? If we're not doing that, if we're not progressing, we're regressing. So it's always in my head that legacy is not just the Mount Rushmore mountains that people see or the statues, because if it's just a statue and there's nothing else with it, then you don't have that impact that you're looking for. So you got to have something else with it. You may have made their mark in that certain point in time, but what do you continue to help and grow and develop and progress our community, our lives, our world, without doing that? So that's legacy for me.
And you talked about education, and just like we talked about education, you do this thing, and I see Mark. He's taking my thunder away from it a little bit, but it's called Ray Wisdom Wednesday. Man, I done became a huge fan of yours, because when I don't see it pop up there, I'm like, okay, is it slipping up today?
That's why I get messages. People, I got friends that starts, because I did it, just when I first started, I just did it because I wanted to just like give inspiration to people, like give something. And now my friends or people are texting me like, okay, here, we don't see it yet. Where's the wisdom? like we need the vibe. We need it. So I'm like, okay, all right, I got to do it. I'm actually have to do one after I'm done with this interview. So
yeah, because I haven't seen it yet, man, and I didn't mean to put you out on blast on worldwide television, but I look forward to it.
Yeah,
I think you got something, man. I think you got something there, my friend, and so it's inspiring the way that you present that, and it seemed like at that very moment, it seemed like you're talking to somebody that might be going through the words that you're saying, and it's that just an uplifting. So, hey, Mr. Mark Young, thanks for bringing that up. Thanks for bringing that up. So hey, Ray,
so Mark has me on the clock right now. He's like okay, it's Wednesday. I got to do it. Let's go.
Hey, so hey, Ray, so you talked about know better, do better. Your grandfather, I know the story, man. And I believe that from Know Better, Do Better, that gave the Leonard legacy, especially coming with you, core values. So, what are the Leonard core values, the way that you see it?
Ooh, man. Uh, there's a bunch of them. For one, for me, the main one that always pops up is compete. Always be competing. Always be trying to be better than you were the yesterday. Always, push yourself to be the best that you possibly can be. So competition is huge within my family. My daughter and I, we compete every day. My son's like, we all compete, whether it's dominoes or whether it's Jeopardy or Family Feud. I mean, whatever. We compete because I think iron sharpens iron. So that's a big thing with us. Integrity. Integrity is a big thing with us. And so one of our core values is to, making sure that you do what you say you're going to do. That's never easy. It's never easy. That is super tough to be always on point with what you say you're going to do. But if you strive to be as close as you can to it, then that's great. The next thing is treat others the way you want to be treated. So when you follow that, it gives you kind of a guide path of how to maneuver and how to function. And if you're not treating somebody the way you want to be treated, then you get to take a look in the mirror and see yourself and say, okay, am I that person that I say that I am? And then, always family first. We are a family, huge family. We fight, we argue, we don't like each other at certain times. We go through different things. But at the end of the day, we try to come back and continue to be as truthful and honest with each other as we can be, and uplift each other. And hopefully, if our core group is respectful of each other, then we're able to move forward and do something special.
Wow. You know what, man? I'm just thinking about this. You and I both, have rocks. Our rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Your rock is Stacy. Mine is Michelle. When we get out of line, they are little women. But it just hurts so bad to get that look from them. I done seen Stacey give you the look too. Well, it's time to calm down, come back down to earth. How does that feel to know somebody got your back like that?
We are like fire and ice, though. Like we will battle and go at each other, but it was, when we first got together, it was like, okay, that you're my person, I'm your person, and it's not always going to be cool, but I know you're going to keep me on my toes, I'm going to keep you on your toes, and we're going to do the best that we can to make sure that we uplift each other and form a union. I never thought that I would be in a relationship or be married this long. I saw my grandparents do it. And I saw all of the daggers and fights that was happening through it, but I never thought that for me, I was a different type of dude. Like for to be in this space and to respect somebody and have somebody, be your the I don't even know what to say about it, man. but to be that person that evens you out, in the days that you don't like each other. We first our first like travel date, we went to New Orleans, and we saw an older couple, and we sat next to them, we talked to them, and we said, what is the rule, like how do you last this long? And they said, basically you can't hate each other at the same time. Like one of you have to still be wanting to fight for the relationship before you. It's like, so if you both hate each other at the same time, then it's over with. So fortunately for us, that we haven't hated each other at the same time. And so somebody's always fighting for the relationship, and I think it's been positive for our kids, positive for other people that see kind of our relationship, because we talk trash. We talk trash back and forth. You see it. It ain't always pretty, but hey, we still here.
But you know what, man, I tell you, man, and I tell Michelle this all the time. I said, you and Stacy, I kind of like.
Oh, I see people call you out and say, hey, tighten up. Tighten up.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
It goes both ways. Like, tighten up, yo.
You know, we're gonna take another station break, but man, this is Ray. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you see the numbers like me, but these numbers are incredible. You know, so we're gonna take another station break, and I see you out there. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments and ask this great man any question that you like, and I promise you, I will get you on It's Your Life. We'll be back with more Ray Leonard Jr. shortly after the break.
My man Norman.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and it just hooking back up with Ray. I mean, we did a show, I think about 16 months, radio, television, all that great stuff, and the chemistry. I can just feel it back. I can just feel it. It's back, Ray. Oh, Joshua Goldsmith.
So it's always opportunity to pull it back together.
That's what I just got a message on that one. Greetings and blessings. All would be great to see Ray and JC back co-hosting again. You know what, Ray? We're gonna make that happen. Time or two. We're gonna make that happen, man, because it's just the chemistry, just knowing you. You know what I mean? I mean, we know each other, families, and all that great stuff, man. So we got a lot of comments. We got Norm here, like great stuff.
Norman, he went to Ohio with me.
Oh yeah,
that's my guy. He started doing it as a preacher, and he's a great person, man. Good man down in Texas. He's near you, JC.
What, Norm is he in Dallas, Fort Worth?
Yeah.
Oh well, Ray, you got to hook me up with him.
Oh, for sure.
We got a whole lot of comments here. I'm gonna try to get as many of them as possible, but I gotta get back to the and so we got Fire in Life, Real Talk. They just keep coming. Keep them coming. So Ray, tell me about nobody, no better studios. I think that's what, I mean, you got so many things going on. It's kind of
Yeah,
rough.
I know. So I figure I get the irons in the fire, and sometimes they're gonna get real hot, at some point. So Nobody Studios. This is one of the biggest things that I'm doing as far as the legacy, because when I was growing up, my parents never talked to me about finance. They never talked to me about how to function in a capitalist society. I never understood about being an entrepreneur. And Nobody Studios is a venture studio that um, I came and found a guy named Mark McNally who had this big audacious dream of building 100 companies in 5 years and making these companies something that was going to be viable for everybody to be involved, to grow the market and make companies that were funded in the right way, built in the right way, and put out to the market and have an opportunity for others to be involved and grow and enjoy it. Because you can imagine if I was able to be involved with Facebook or Microsoft, if all of us were able to be involved with some of those companies in the beginning, have stock options and those type of things, it would have been an amazing experience. We're able to leave generational wealth, to do all these different things. So our big idea is building all these companies and growing these companies and giving the resources to each one of these companies. That's what a venture studio does. It incubates and helps to grow each one of these companies, give the opportunity to people to express their dreams, and we build it what we call frugressively, which is faster and more frugal than the average venture capital company does. So you get a lot of these venture capital companies that come in and say, okay, here, we're going to give you $20 million to two guys and a dog in the back garage to build this company. Our bet, especially right now, when you see how the economic market is going, is that if we can build more companies, we can build them and make them into what we call MVPs, most viable product, in a faster way, and do it for a smaller cost, and put all the resources and team people behind it, then we have an opportunity to help everybody live their dream out. A lot more people live out their dreams than just the people that have the accredited investors, who have to have at least $250,000 to be able to be an accredited investor and getting some of these opportunities. So we're spreading it out. We're moving the opportunity. We're giving the opportunity back to more people.
Wow. So you kind of hit on this a little bit, but how can somebody, but most importantly, join, and what type of collaborations are you looking for in this venture?
So there's a lot of things that we're looking for at the studio. So I run one of the companies, which is ovations.com. It was kind of my baby, because when the pandemic hit, I was not able to travel and speak around the world like I love doing, being in front of audiences, and everything became remote and Zoom. So I wanted to give an opportunity for speakers, consultants, coaches, trainers to connect directly with the audience, to hire them and do it in a virtual standpoint, or if you are live, you can do a hybrid, different areas. And so I created a two-way marketplace, almost like the Amazon for speakers and talent people. Rather, they started with people can be connected with what we're doing with the studio by we just closed out our crowdfunding, which we did amazing. We had 1,000 investors. We raised a good deal of money to build these companies. But on the other side, we take your talent, your ideas, your capital, whatever you want to bring to the table. We're open. We have a great board. We have great people involved that want to say, hey, we're listening to see what we do and how do we build the best companies that we can build. And so go to nobodystudios.com. We have an opportunity for you to just go in there and say, here, I want to submit this as an idea, submit this as I want to be an investor, or you say, okay, here, I just want to use my talent to help grow another company.
Wow. So that's a lot, man. That seemed like a great idea, Ray. That seemed like a lot of people are going to benefit handsomely from that.
Yeah, it was cool, JC, because we during the crowdfunding, people were allowed to put as little as $100 in and say, here, I have an opportunity to own a part of a venture studio, and I get money back or get to share in the success of every single company that comes out of the studio.
Wow. Hey, tell me about OvationZ.com. I mean, just like I said, man, you got your hands into everything, everything.
So this was I first came into Nobody Studios to help them with influencers, to people to grow and expand the reach. We're a global company already, so we have folks in the Philippines, we have folks in London, Germany, Israel, all over. And so the biggest thing for me was, like I said, I wanted to connect people to opportunity, and my baby came out Ovations. Was I wanted to change and disrupt the speaking market, the educational market, the space where you control your intellectual property. It's now you see AI is taking over. People are not on stages as much. Everybody's communicating over virtual. But how do you inspire your teams? Can you find somebody who's an emerging speaker or who has a great story to excite your team? If you're a manager in Des Moines, Iowa, and somebody to excite your team and say, okay, here, you can come in, I can pay $250 and you speak to my team for 15 minutes or 5 minutes, 8 minutes, and you inspire somebody by what you're doing, but you're also getting paid for it, and you control your intellectual property. Everybody puts their stuff out on YouTube, all these other platforms for free, but we want to make sure that you're monetizing, that you're learning. We have a university that we train speakers, train coaches, to be able to get out there and get your story out there better, because everybody has a great story, but how do you deliver? It's an art form to how you speak and present. JC, you know this when you're on stage and you're on here, and we like even with us on here talking, it's an art form to it. Everybody just can't do it, but you can train, you can learn how to be better at what you're doing. Because the biggest thing, and I think the biggest issue that we're going to have going forward, is find out, how do we communicate? How do we continue to be able to communicate? Because people like to text so much. They like to not talk on the phone anymore. It's not a way that you show what you have and what you can do from the way we talk and communicate. And I think that's important to still have that and have that continue to grow.
And you're absolutely right. There's a process, is what I call it too. Everything that you're doing, especially when you're doing TV, radio, speaking on the stage, trying to convey a message, if you don't understand the process, you're not going to come across the right way. So lots of us have to be taught. I know I had to be taught. You had to be taught. We have to be taught. And sometimes it's frustrating. And sometimes it ain't cut out for everybody.
Like I know the work and all the stuff you have to do to put your show together, to put this show together, to come out to communicate, and the back talking things we have to do beforehand to get things right. Even though you and I have chemistry already, so it's easier. But for the most part, like when you're playing a show to entertain people and to educate people, it is a process. Like you said,
it is a process. So as a motivational speaker, Ray, man, I have seen you grow, man. You are very, very good at what you do. And as a coach, all of these type of things, what is the most important thing that Ray have learned from Ray as he grew to become better and better and better?
You know what? One of the things I learned, and you gave me some great advice, and you told me it ain't all about you. You told me that. I was like, you know what? This dude just said that to me for real. I was like, okay, I appreciate it, but I took it to heart. Because, from speaking, it's not about us. It's about the people that we're affecting and impacting. And it's the message that we deliver that matter. Because I never thought I would be a professional speaker. It was never a goal of mine. I always wanted to be an agent, the athlete, the actor, the rap music artist. That was my thing. But I found my space being able to entertain and educate people in a different way, which I never thought it would be professional speaking. And so when I started first doing it, I was just speaking, just talking. And then I became an actual professional speaker. I actually became a person that could deliver a performance, deliver a message that I knew would impact others. And the biggest thing for me was I was doing a Navy presentation on a base, and I was talking, and a kid came up to me afterwards and said, I wanted to take my life today, and what you said mattered to me. It gave me an opportunity to rethink what I was going to do. And so for me, that drove me to be better at what I was doing as a speaker. I wanted to impact more people. I wanted to be able to, deliver a great presentation. So I got the opportunity to meet Eddie Murphy and Chris Tucker and all those guys, and they talked about being comedians. And so this is one of my biggest things about being a professional speaker is comedians. Sometimes you could take the exact same words that Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, somebody else said, and it will not go over the same way. You don't know how to deliver it. You don't know how to understand the pauses. You don't understand how to make the message get to your audience. And so for me as a speaker, what I've learned and grown with is being able to deliver the message the right way. To stop and pause, not say all the time.
Hey, Ray, we're going to take a station break. But that brings back.
Now I'm a talker. I could talk for 60 minutes straight if you need to.
That brings back, actually learning how to speak and developing, because the tough love. A lot of people don't want to hear the tough love. They only want to hear things that sound great. But if tough love is what teaches a person and what makes them better. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back with some more Ray Leonard Jr. shortly after the break. If you want to be part of this conversation, I see comments coming in. Just keep them coming. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll see you shortly.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, crazes and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get you equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
It's your life.
Welcome back to the Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And Ray, man, these comments are coming in. And Stacy, who will also be debuting on the It's Your Life network real soon. And she is absolutely fantastic. Ray, you got to meet her one of these days, man. You got to meet her. I think she'll be a great guest for your show as well.
Me and Stacy's.
So, Stacy.
Good to meet you, Stacy.
Stacy, she's wonderful, man. This guy right here, you know quite well.
Oh, that's my pastor.
Pastor
He know me way different. he know the demons and the angels.
Yeah, you know what, man? He's such a incredible man, and I just love you. You introduced him and hooked me up with him a couple of years back, and I just love having him on the show because he always brings inspiration to everything that he's talking about. He sit back and he's honest, he's straightforward. He tell you how it is. So those are the type of people that we need in our world. And Renee said, "Great show, great show." Anytime you put me and Ray together, I not bragging, but this is what you're gonna get. This is what you're gonna get out of it. And we got a question for you. What does it mean to find your space?
That's a good question. I think for me, because it's going to be different for everybody, finding your space is finding your lane. Like JC says, I'm not one that's scared to take risk. I'm not one that's scared to try to find what's my purpose in this world. I'm not scared to find out what is going to be my motivating influence as I grow and as I go forward in my life. And it changes over life, because if we're not moving forward, like I said, if we're not progressing, we're regressing. So finding your space is your space in that time and moment and where you are in your life. So the biggest thing for me about finding my space was knowing what is fulfilling to Ray and what is something that's going to, drive me, not just career-wise, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and add value to not just my life, but to others. So sometimes you got to be selfish to find that space, because if you're not comfortable where you are, you can't go forward and move and help other people. So I've had those moments where I say, okay, here, this is about me. This is Ray time right now. I need to figure it out. Because if I don't figure it out and figure out who Ray is, then how can I deliver and grow and tell somebody else this is how you find your own space? So great question, Stacy. Thank you so much. So I hope I didn't circle around that answer too much, but trying to give you, my thought process, because my head just moves like a hamster wheel sometimes.
Yeah, so Ray, I always have to throw a wrench. Even when we was on there in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So Ray, if you had an opportunity, today's Ray, if he had an opportunity to go back and talk to Ray 20, 25 years ago, what would you tell that Ray?
What the hell is wrong with you? Kid? It's funny. One of the biggest things I would say is enjoy the process. Learn how to not be okay. Learn how to be able to speak in a space of knowing that you're not the toughest person in the room all the time. To be able to be vulnerable, because I always thought that I could take care of everything and everybody. And I didn't want to be able to say no to anybody. I wanted to say, okay, my shoulders are bigger than everybody, so I can hold it up, I can take it, I can do this. And that was one of the things that created barriers and burdens and slowed down my progress, is because I was taking on the weight of everybody else. And you can't climb to the top when you're holding up everybody. And so that's one of the things I would tell my younger self. And enjoy the moment. It's like, we have fun. Like, you and I have fun on the shows. We gotta have you on ringside with me and Prince tomorrow, because we have fun. We laugh, and it gives that moment of not being just so stressed out about life and every single day, to have a window where you can say, okay, I'm just going to enjoy where I am. I always tell you about the one thing I use in my presentations. I say the biggest thing about being present in the moment to tell your story is knowing that there's more to write. So enjoy the moment. Keep writing your story. Take your pen out. Don't let somebody else decide where you're going, because you are the author of your future. You are the author of what you're doing. Your growth depends upon what you're putting out there and how you write that story. Each chapter is going to change how you function and focus, but go be that author. Create a better life.
We're down to the last minute of the show. do you have one final takeaway that you want our viewers and listeners to get from this absolutely wonderful conversation? 30 seconds or less.
30 seconds or less. Now you put me on a time limit. Okay, I got it. I mean, this is part of what I'm saying for my Wisdom Wednesday today, which I'll be doing after this. And the big thing for me is moving forward. Stop being stagnant in your life. Stop being stagnant in your thought process, stagnant in your mentality, stagnant in your emotional growth, your spiritual growth. You got to keep moving forward. The moment we sit down and we just stop moving, we become in a place where we're beholden to whatever else is happening around the world. I like to be able to influence the world more than I'm letting the world influence me. So that is my space that I'm putting out there today.
Hey, Ray, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You got an open invitation to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Open.
Now you just started something. I'm going to be on here all the damn time.
Yeah. So I like to thank you for taking the time to come on the show. I like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I like to thank our viewers and listeners for taking time to tune into the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life.